Throughout my riding career, I've noticed a similar trend that occurs. I like to imagine a spectrum with sprint intensity on one side and endurance stamina on the other. Most riders naturally fall towards one side or the other. The best riders practice improving both zones and have a nice blend of sprint intensity and endurance stamina. Lots of riders will either have great sprint speed but struggle with endurance, or the opposite. They may have great stamina but struggle to sprint at a high intensity. Recognizing which zones need improvement can be very beneficial to your riding and racing. The best way to improve either sprint speed or endurance is to spend more time in those zones. If you struggle achieving a high level of intensity in your riding, it's often because you haven't spent enough time practicing in that zone. In this video, we'll be going over 5 different practices you can do on the bike, as well as 2 different things you can do off the bike to increase your sprint speed. Section 1, on the bike. Sprint practice. One of the greatest methods to improve your sprint intensity is to practice short 3 to 8 minute sprints. Head over to your local motocross track or construct a small turn track in an open riding area. Try to build a track with a lap time under 5 minutes. Once you're warmed up, practice short, high intensity sprints. Complete either 1 or 2 laps on your track depending on the length and your preference. Try and ride all out, 110% for an entire lap. Practice keeping your sprints somewhere between the 3 to 8 minute zone. However, adjust the length according to your needs. For example, in the past, when I've prepared to compete at the ISDE, I have prioritized practicing 8-minute sprints, as this is about the average length of a special test at the ISDE. Sometimes, depending on the discipline of racing, the sprint time can be slightly longer. Just adjust according to your needs. As you spend more time in these high-intensity zones, your sprint speed will increase. You will improve how much speed you carry around the track. Your ability to maintain proper technique at this intensity will improve. You will become more familiar and comfortable with approaching obstacles at a higher speed. You will begin carrying more speed into corners and braking less. Your body will become more familiar with handling a motorcycle at this level of exertion, and you will become more efficient. All of these things over time will slowly contribute to an overall improvement in sprint speed. This is by far one of the single greatest things you can do to improve your intensity and speed. However, it is important to recognize that by practicing this, you won't get faster overnight. The most important component of any practice is consistency. Stick with it for a few weeks or months, and soon you will begin to recognize significant improvements. Number 2, prioritize motocross. Often when riders are interested in improving their sprint speed, one of the first things I ask is if they are frequently riding at the motocross track, or if they've ever ridden at a motocross track. I do recognize that geographically everybody is in a different situation, and having the accessibility of a motocross track may be difficult. Some riders may have a track within 30 minutes, other riders may have a track 2 or 3 hours away. If riding at a local motocross track is an option, and you're interested in improving your sprint speed, then I would make it a priority to ride there frequently. Motocross tracks are perfect for increasing your intensity and sprint speed. Personally, I struggle to ride on the edge or completely sprint if the conditions are not ideal. For me, ideal conditions are good visibility and good traction. Often in off-road riding, we have limited traction and limited visibility. At times, it can be difficult to practice all-out sprints in this environment. The motocross track often has much more suitable conditions for sprinting. With improved traction and visibility, you will be able to push your riding abilities further. With the added obstacles of jumps, whoops, braking bumps, and turns, motocross tracks quickly elevate your heart rate and provide incredible physical training. If you have the ability to ride at a local motocross track, try and spend as much time as you can riding. You can do short 1 to 2 lap sprints or ride for an hour straight. I like to mix it up. If you don't have access to a local motocross track, try and find a local riding area with sand, gravel, or any type of soft soil. Set up a short track and call it your personal training grounds. Number 3, live and dead engine starts. Simulating the beginning of a race is a great method to spike your heart rate and practice those high intensity moments. Set up a practice area and perform a dozen or more dead engine and live engine starts. Often recreating a high intensity environment really allows us to simulate what it's like to spend time in those high intensity zones. The more time we can spend in the high intensity sprint zone, the more comfortable we'll be riding at that level. Number 4, zones. Another similar drill that can be very effective is practicing certain zones or sections of a small track. You may want to just sprint the whoop section and then rest for a minute, or you could sprint all of the corner entries and practice heavy braking. Breaking down a track into different zones can be very beneficial. Number 5, monitor lap times. Monitoring your lap times is a great method to provide some feedback for your riding. Often we think we're going a certain speed, or we may feel that what we are doing is faster. However, by measuring our performance, we will be able to confirm if what we are doing is actually faster. Motorcycle riding is very unique and combines a lot of different components with intensity, efficiency, and consistency. Sometimes we may feel we are going faster when in reality we're actually going slower and just overexerting. Spending some time comparing lap times is a great way to confirm that what you are doing on the bike is actually faster and to continue in that same direction. Section 2, off the bike, warm-up routine. To be able to perform at your highest potential, your body needs to be warmed up and ready to go. We are all pretty familiar with the warm-up process when we go to the gym. However, we often struggle to complete a proper warm-up cycle before riding or racing our motorcycles. Honestly, this is something I've not been very good at throughout my riding experience. However, I'm doing my best to put more emphasis on a proper warm-up routine and stretching. Our bodies perform best when our muscles are stretched and our cardiovascular system is ready to pump blood and fuel oxygen. Getting to this point does not happen instantly. Prioritize developing a quick warm-up routine that works well for you. The best time to do this is just before you begin your high-intensity exertion. I have recently started doing a brief period of either jumping jacks, burpees, high knees, butt kickers, or squats to elevate my heart rate nearly to zone 5. A good way to measure this without a heart rate monitor is to keep working until you have a hard time speaking because your breathing is so heavy. Allow your heart to increase to this zone and then recover. Experiment with different stretches for your muscles. I like to prioritize stretching my legs, shoulders, and forearms. These are critical muscles for motorcycle riding. In your riding boots, do a few deep squats to open up your legs. Interlock your fingers behind your back and have a buddy apply mild pressure to your arms as you hold them up behind your head. Stretch out your forearms by flipping your hands upside down and pressing against the seat or handlebars. HIIT workouts. Sprinting on the motorcycle often causes our heart rate to rise to a high level, often to zone 5, near our max heart rate. Spending time training this heart rate zone can improve our ability to manage this pace and have more energy to continue sprinting longer. A simple way to begin spending more time in this heart rate zone is to perform what are often called HIIT workouts, or high intensity interval training. They can also be referred to as interval training, circuit training, or CrossFit style workouts. Interval training is simply a type of training that involves completing a series of high intensity workouts mixed with brief rest periods. This type of training can involve a wide variety of different movements. High intensity interval training pairs very well with motorcycle riding because we can target the high heart rate zones that occur so frequently when riding or racing. They also require limited resources and can be completed in a short amount of time. Here are a few different examples of some workouts that you may do depending on your accessibility to different types of equipment. Also, see the attachment section below this video for a list of weekly programs and routines that you can try. 10 rounds of run for 30 seconds, bicep curls for 30 seconds, and rest for 30 seconds. Complete 4 rounds for time of 10 pull-ups, 25 box jumps, and 30 lunges. As many reps and rounds as possible in 15 minutes, 30 air squats, 75 jump rope, and 20 burpees. As you can see, most of these workouts can be pretty simple on paper, yet very effective physical training. You can literally come up with any combination of 3 or 4 movements and do as many rounds as you can in 15 minutes, or simply time how long it takes you to complete 3 rounds. The possibilities are endless. Remember, one of the single most important things with any significant behavior change is consistency. Focus on creating something that is sustainable for you. Start small and focus on consistency. Sprint speed is one of many techniques to improve your riding. If you're interested in learning more techniques just like this one, check out our full course at ridewiththeknights.com. With over 40 videos and 4 hours of dense moto content, it's the ultimate online riding school. Visit our website, watch the free 30-minute training, and get 20% off your lifetime membership, and we will see you guys inside the course. That's it for sprinting. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out, and we will see you guys in the next video.